Okay, I think I know what's going on. For some reason, an AI or ghost has inhabited my PC and is not leaving. Okay, but why though? That sounds ominous.
Pizza power!
Do the Turtles really need an introduction? I mean, they've done everything at this point in entertainment. Everything. They had a lot of games in the 80s and 90s, the most popular of which being the arcade games, though none compared to Turtles in Time. There were 3 different versions of the game released in the 90s, the original arcade game, and 2 console ports. Yeah, I'm counting the Hyperstone Genesis as console port, and you can't convince me otherwise. And yeah, I know it reuses stuff from the original arcade game and has original assets, but it's still a Turtles in Time port, because it plays pretty much exactly like Turtles in Time. In case you're wondering where Pizza Power comes from, it comes from the Out of Their Shells tour, in which Shredder's main thing is that
I hate music! Music! I hate music! I said music! I hate music!
wow, it's hard to remember how corny the Turtles were in the 90s sometimes.
Supernintenturtles!
I'm not kidding, this was an actual thing in the 90s and it's way more bonkers than the American cartoon. We're playing all these games on the COWABUNGA collection done by Digital Eclipse, responsible for the Mega Man Legacy collection. That wonderful collection that actually ported the games into an engine and not just emulated them. I know about the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection and its issues, most of which have been patched, but I suspect WB was rushing that game out the door before Digital Eclipse could actually finish it. I mean, it had over 22 games amongst different versions. Expecting arcade perfect ports along with their handheld and console versions is just unrealistic. It needed more time to cook, especially for the online netcode, which I suspect Digital Eclipse wanted to perfect as well, but again, WB rushed it out the doors, so they didn't have enough time. Let's start with the arcade classic. Shredder and Krang steal the Statue of Liberty, so it's up to the Turtles to get it back. I play on the very hard difficulty, but left all the other settings alone because the arcade game is difficult already enough. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way now. I don't really like the arcade version, I'm more of a SNES guy. It's emblematic of most arcade beat-em-ups at the time, where you just scroll, beat a bunch of enemies, and move on. Enemies swarm the screen, and it becomes more or less a button masher after a while. And I know this game is fondly remembered, but still. And because it's the COWABUNGA collection, difficulty doesn't matter, so you can just keep spamming that start button for endless continues. I was able to get through it in an hour without much difficulty, even on the hardest skill. Each of the Turtles plays differently. Leo is the most balanced and I don't really play him very often. Mikey is slow attacking, but has the highest damage output out of any Turtle. Donatello is slow as well, but has range with his staff, and Raph is the fastest Turtle with the lowest attack, somehow. These stats don't change among the versions except for maybe Reshield, but we'll get to that. Special attacks are unique to each Turtle, and unless it's the arcade version, they do take health away, so using these sparingly is a very good idea on the console versions. I'll cover stages more when I talk about the Super Nintendo version, just know that they feel more dynamic there than here. Enemies swarm the screen in droves as well in the arcade version, to the point of monotony. You will see at least 10 enemies on screen on the hardest skill without Nightmare mode, and I hope you like your Turtle's special move. You will be spamming it. A lot. I mean, look at this. Bosses are, well, they are brainless in the arcade version for the most part, unfortunately. Most of them are button mashes. Unlike its Super Nintendo counterpart, there are no health bars either. Instead, bosses glow to show you how close to death they are. There is very little strategy and balance to them.
You're going to pay.
Sure I am. Shredder is an absolute wimp compared to everything before, though.
COWABUNGA!
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, our 4 reptilian heroes, have overcome the arch villain Shredder.
Super Nintendo version is the best version of the game, easily. You can't convince me otherwise. You have better control of your characters, the jumping feels better, attacks have better hit sounds. Everything about it just feels better, save for the animations and music. Character and enemy animations are cut down due to cart space, and the Super Nintendo sound chip can't compare to the arcade version, but it has its own charm. The plot of the Super Nintendo port is the same as the arcade version for the most part. No changes here, though certain bosses have changed order, we'll get to that. Here's my settings. I usually play on the hardest skill with comic book colors because it's what I did when I was a kid. I also set the lives and continues up to the maximum. You'll see why, because I haven't played this game in over 20 years. Big Apple's 3 AM is an iconic video game level, period. It's got these wrecking balls at the beginning with Krang appearing in the middle. Foot ninjas appear in all sorts of flavors and colors, and you'll meet less than half of them here. Baxter Stockman is the boss, and would you believe as easy as he is, he's nowhere near the easiest? Cat Blues introduces us to Roadkill Rodney, who replaces the boxer robots from the arcade version. They aren't difficult to deal with for the most part. You're also introduced to the Pizza Power-Up, which is a spinning attack of pain. Metalhead is the boss of this level, and he's a standout, and actually takes a bit of thought to beat. Sewer Serpent is an awesome bonus level. It has pizza monsters popping up here and there towards the end. Rat King is pathetic. He's the easiest boss in the game. Just look. The Rat King is one of the new bosses added exclusively to the Super Nintendo version. In fact, all the new additions are awesome. There is also a new level added, the Technodrome. It's a relatively easy level for the most part, full of Mousers, Foot Ninja, and Roadkill Rodneys everywhere. You get this power up at the end and the Shredder popping up on the screen laughing at you. It's good, it's fun. Toka and Raza are blocking the door to the elevator. They can use team attacks, and they really aren't a pushover. After beating them both, you do an elevator section that
MC Mikey. MC Ricky.
that leads to a boss battle with Shredder, in which you have to throw enemies at the screen. To do this, you have to press forward and attack at the same time when you get close to an enemy. After he's defeated, he banishes you to a time warp. This is where the game starts to get interesting, as each level takes place in a different time period moving forward. Oh, hi hardest boss, nice to see you there. When it comes to prehistoric Turtlesaurus, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. At the end you have raptors to run you over, and it introduces stone warriors, who also come in different flavors depending on the weapon they use. They don't change colors unlike the ninjas. Slash is by far the hardest boss in the game, who was added in place of the admittedly lame and placed in the game to sell a figure Concrete Man. Slash can't take a hit safe from behind him, so depending on your turtle, he becomes very hard or very, very easy. It depends. He also does this tackle the more health he loses, and it's very difficult to avoid and results in more deaths than you think. Eventually you beat him and he has the most satisfying explosion of any boss death in the game. Skull and Crossbones is where the game picks up again in difficulty. You run into these planks on the ground that can hurt you, but the most dangerous enemy in the game appears, yes, the yellow foot soldier who throws a lime disc at you. Bebop and Rocksteady appear as the bosses of this level, and they too are far more difficult than Toka and Roz are. Honestly, a straight up beatdown is best on these two before they infight and explode. Next up is Bury My Shell at Wounded Knee, a standout. It comes packed with swarms of foot soldiers, stone warriors, and hazards. A very interesting level and my personal favorite in the game. The boss is Leatherhead, who goes down very easy for me, but may be difficult for others. Beware of falling barrels throughout the fight. Neon Knight Riders is the game's second bonus level, taking place in the far-flung future of 2020, where we have hoverboards and giant gleaming skyscrapers. Krang is far easier here than in the arcade version too. Starbase is the best level in the game. Full of enemies and hazards, this level truly tests you. Robot walkers take the place of Roadkill Rodney in the stage, are generally more dangerous, and Krang is once again the boss. Too bad he goes down like a chump, probably even more so than he did in Neon Knight Riders in this version. So Shredder is once again the boss, and oh shit.
It's a super shredder!
He's faster, hits harder, and has the most health of any boss in the game. Slash is still harder though due to his backwards bullshit. He has 3 attacks, this ground flame which puts you in a My Toes animation, this move here which freezes you, and the mutagen that instantly kills you no matter how much health you have left. Super Shredder can be exploited, which I figure out with Leo here, and I whoop his ass after that. In 1992, Konami gave us the Hyperstone heist for the Genesis, the last port of Turtles in Time until 2005, when it was badly emulated in Mutant Nightmare on the PS2 as an in-game unlock. Hyperstone heist has a dedicated run button, and you can't throw enemies at the screen, only slam them, which are the only 2 real changes. The plot this time is only slightly different. Instead of stealing the Statue of Liberty, Shredder shrinks and steals Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty. The Turtles do their thing and challenge him. The game only has 5 levels, but they are chopped up into 3 acts using assets from the original arcade game and Turtles in Time. There are original assets here too. As usual, I'd like to play on the hardest skill.
Your ninja skills are reaching their peak.
First level is New York City, and right away you're going to notice that this game is a tad harder on level 1 than Turtles in Time. The second group of enemies are 3 Roadkill Rodney, who didn't show up until level 2 in the original. We also get pizza monsters in the first level who knocked me away from this pizza, which I needed for health. Not really, but still bullshit. Leatherhead is the boss, and like most bosses in this game, save for you, he goes down pretty easily. Level 2 starts out with the surfing section, then goes onto a pirate ship, and then to a cave. It's mostly avoiding hazards and killing foot soldiers. Here's how we meet stone soldiers in this game in level 2. 2 waves. 2. Second level, everybody. Rocksteady is the boss and he operates solo. Would you believe he's easier than Leatherhead? Next up is Shredder's hideout, the midpoint of the game, and this is where the game really starts kicking my ass. This stage is full of traps, but the boss is the hardest in the game. Tatsu summons foot soldiers while he fights you and throws knives at you. When you get close to him, he jumps away, throwing 3 knives downward, which can combo you into death. Destroying him is nothing less than satisfying. The gauntlet is a slog. Your rematch the boss is here, there's not much to talk about. Stockman himself is a problem until I jump kick him. The final Shell Shock is an actual level this time, using bits from Starbase for the Technodrome mostly. Krang is the boss of the first section, straight out of Neon Knight Riders, using the exact same attacks.
MC Mikey. MC Ricky Ricky.
The final boss is Super Shredder again, carrying the same attacks from the Super Nintendo version. Beat him and congrats, well done. In 2008, rumors were flying around of a potential Turtles in Time remake that would be out in time for the franchise's 25th anniversary. The price was lowered towards launch to $10, and the fact that it was more than that originally says a lot, even for the time. It came out in August 2009 for the Xbox 360 as a timed exclusive before getting released on the PS3 a month later. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really don't like Reshelled. Like, how can I explain? This game is basically kind of like a very bad remake of the arcade version, to the point where this is what hardcore looks like.
How do you guys expect to beat me?
This cave is creepy. Whoa, it's dark in here. Pizza time.
Good answer. Good answer.
It takes me 15 minutes to beat the first level, and here's how I feel right after it.
And don't worry, he'll probably be back any minute.
And because it's lost media, I have to basically emulate it, which looks horrible. So, yeah, I'm just gonna show off Krang and Shredder again, because those are the best bosses to show off when it comes to Reshell, to show how bad it is.
Let's kick shell. That hole is our way home. Let's go. COWABUNGA!
And that's it, job well done. Reshelled can get fucked, honestly. I hate it. I hate it with a burning passion. But the other three versions are worth it, especially Hyperstone Heist, which I feel is still underappreciated despite being on the Sega Genesis. Overall, Turtles in Time is well regarded as one of the best beat-em-up games ever made, and it was probably the best Ninja Turtles game ever made. You know, until Shredder's Revenge came out in 2022 or 23, I can't remember. It's been a while for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an exorcism to give to a ghost.